All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Dragon Coffee with my boy Prince here.
Or Lambo-san, whichever one. Mostly Lambo-san, though.
He likes that one. And I'm Captain Caleb. I started thinking of a thing on the way here. When we try to think, you tell me what you think, okay?
Uh-oh.
I'm that RPG bro with that D&D flow.
Brother! Who is this? That's that. I don't know what that was. By the way.
I also have a D&D flow.
Oh no, are you going
No, I hear no more.
You going Stranger Things on us?
I don't know. I'm not gonna complete my have glasses on the entire time. Sometimes I'll put it on. I don't know. It's fun.
You gonna be the dick DM?
Oh yeah, that's what that is. Every time we do RPG horror stories, I just put this on and be like, so you really think that you're gonna try and do this in my D&D table? You'll never be able to see my eyes, my poker face.
Well, you can see your poker face anyways, because, yeah. Oh, you have pretend gum to chew that you're chewing?
You'll never know. They do that in poker, I think. They like chew gum and try to throw their opponents off or some shit like that.
Well, it's mostly so that they don't smile, yeah.
Yeah.
Chewing gum allows you to relax
they
your
do
face.
The glasses for that specific reason, too. They just want to make sure they're not red, even.
Oh, yeah.
Poker is still a fucking game of chance, no matter what.
A little bit of intuition,
There's some stuff there. Also, we have a logo made by an AI right there. See?
Yeah.
Right past his head, right there.
Oh.
We're going to try this. You know, there's a lot of AIs out there that are actually doing a lot of cool things.
Which one was this?
Dream Studio.
Hey.
Like, if you have a Google account, you'll get like 100 free credits at the moment, and you can, test out the AI. It's a brand new one. It's pretty dope. I like it pretty much. It's probably my favorite one so far. We'll probably have some from DALL-E or something like that. Some of the cool AI art generator stuff that they have right now. I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
I like that.
We've been getting into it recently, like finding all the ones that you can test out. And like, oh my god!
All I did was just put in Dragon Coffee logo, and then it popped up with that. And granted, the E on the last E is not really an E, but it's supposed to fit around. I think they're just trying to have it like
a loop
looping
effect?
Around, because you can see I think the end's supposed to be like flowing a little bit like a drink.
Yeah, it actually is.
So I think that's what they try to do with the E there, but kind of like we got cut off, whatever. But either way, that took like 10 seconds for an AI to do. Pretty dope. I think we're gonna keep on each episode for right now. We're gonna try out different logos and have some fun.
Honestly, I like it anyways, regardless.
I love this. This is really cool. We got the little dragon and then the coffee cup. The coffee cup's the most impressive part to me because it just generates the coffee cup because I put coffee logo. And then putting the name there, it's dope. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be chocolate.
Yeah, that's chocolate.
That's chocolate?
You can see the bricks, the little bricks over there.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's dope. Yeah. We're just
it's a logo after all, so yeah.
All right. I was using this last time because it kept me on track, so I'm going to grab that real quick.
Okay, there you go. He's going to start grabbing stuff right quick. He'll be back after he's done grabbing.
That's not what I said.
He will be back. Wow, look at him. He's finished grabbing, folks.
All right, this keeps me on track as far as the not the coffee.
The
podcast. Last time it was our first time getting back into the flow of things, and I think we did a good job. But we could do better, right? We always can look to do better. We're always striving for better.
What do you mean by that?
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. You don't know what you mean. Okay.
What do we want to do first? I mean, last time I liked the monster spotlight a lot. Character creation was one of my favorite things that we did last week. Last time we did this. We can try the NPC creation spotlight. I don't know how we're going to do that.
We can do the monster spotlight again, and we can go to beast this time since we did aberrations.
Or you can just use a random beast. Oh, there's not many beasts.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, it would be pretty easy.
Sure. Also the RPG horror story stuff, and then I'll see if there's any D&D news. I don't think anything crazy's popped up recently.
Aside from one D&D, of course.
We already covered that.
I mean, if anything, we can add this later on, but Unearthed Arcana Reddit, they usually have some pretty good stuff.
Oh yeah, we can do a homebrew section.
Yeah.
Homebrew's perfectly fine with me. I don't care.
We are homebrew, after all. We homebrew heavily.
That's typically what we do. I put that as an RPG stuff. Bop. Okay, so what we'll do first is we'll do the Monster Spotlight. Let me pull a D&D Beyond, look at Beasts, and then we'll kind of go from there. How was your week then, my friend?
It's been long, hard, and arduous. Many trials and tribulations in which I had to face. Many hurdles I had to jump over in order to get to Thursday.
Sorry, let me...
It's alright, it's not your
fault. I want this to
fault.
turn off eventually, so give me a second, the camera's going to be off.
Yes, give him a second.
I'll edit this later.
Exactly.
Eventually the camera will turn on, that way we're not just staring at our faces. For some reason my brain, whenever I see my face on the camera, I just go, I automatically have to keep looking at it. And instinctually that's not a bad thing when it comes to the camera.
Yes,
Or at
of
least
course,
like
it actually, it literally isn't. Because we
Uh,
probably should be more or less looking at the camera at all times,
True
but we
enough.
don't. We can't. It's not possible with this setup right now.
We're using a McDonald's box to clean that up.
No, we're not. We're using a professional camera studio.
Oh, what kind of coffee are we drinking today?
I have no clue. What kind of coffee are we drinking today?
We're drinking smart coffee.
What the? It's smart?
It says it's smart
Is it
coffee.
smarter than us?
It's like a weird mix between like plant products, coffee, and whatever kind of flavoring they put into it.
Cocaine.
This time we tested out cinnamon roll that was at Walmart when I went there earlier. So
It tastes just like regular coffee.
it has no difference. I don't even taste cinnamon roll at all.
No.
I just taste
Like the first time I hinted it. Afterwards, apparently, your tongue goes numb to it.
because you just realize, fuck, it's coffee.
It's coffee.
Yeah.
It's friggin' coffee.
Freaking cake.
It's friggin' coffee.
Okay, so we're sticking to the low CRs.
Yeah, because they might have the more
Beasts,
interesting ones.
Flying monkey.
Cranium rat. Are you gonna get another interesting beast in the beast category? I don't think so, Caleb.
Why are we going beast then?
Because it's the second in the alphabetical list.
You can get pony.
Ew. A pony. What are you gonna do with a pony? Unless we're gonna do something else.
Okay, since we're doing this thing, we're going in alphabetical order of like the creature types. We're doing beast. D&D 5e, they don't like beasts apparently.
For some reason, a sturge is a beast. I don't see how.
This is the closest thing we're gonna get.
The thing is that, like, that's not even a natural creature.
Let's see how Matt Mercer or Mercer says.
Yeah, you gotta diversify.
Sturge it is. It's
Yeah, it's a
Sturge.
It's always been sturge.
A Sturge is a horrid creature that looks like the cross between a large bat and an oversized mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
And its legs end in sharp pincers, and its long, needle-legged proboscis slashes the air as it seeks to feed on the blood of living creatures.
Yummy. Like me.
This horrid creature looks like a cross between a large bat and an oversized... It's saying the same thing again. Yep, that's the same thing, besides it adds needle-like proboscis slashes the air as it seeks its next meal. That's the only thing it adds. Sturges feed on the blood of living creatures, attaching and draining them slowly, although they pose little danger in small numbers. Packs of Sturges can be a formidable threat, reattaching as quickly as their weakened prey can pluck them off. The blood drain. It's its attack.
Yep.
A Sturge attacks by landing on a victim, finding a vulnerable spot and plunging its proboscis into the flesh while using its pincer legs to latch onto the victim. Once the Sturge has sated itself, it detaches and flies off to digest its meal. Now, 5e doesn't give a good description on any beast, really. Look, we've been looking.
Yep.
And this is the best we've got. So we're sticking with Sturge. And we'll kind of look at some of its base attacks, but its only attack it got is that Blood Drain.
It's the Blood Drain.
Which is a 5-foot reach, does a d4 plus 3 piercing damage, plus 5 to hit, and as it attacks, it does attach itself to you. While attached, it doesn't attack. It starts the start of each turn by essentially sucking your blood and doing another d4 plus 3
It
hit
just
dice.
does free damage.
The Surge can detach itself by spending 5 feet of movement. It does so after it drains 10 hit points. So that's the thing about this creature. It's there to... You can't do anything, really. Gotta wait for it to release itself. Then you kill it.
Yeah.
That's the Surge mechanics. I'm not memeing it, but I'm giving you the base description of it. That's all Sturge is.
That's all, folks.
But this is what we do here in Dragon Coffee, right? How do we make a creature that seems so bland and uninteresting and just a giant mosquito into an interesting encounter? I will do this thing where I will set up a dungeon or an area or a little adventure that a set of adventurers are starting or going on, and Prince will create a little small encounter and ideas that you might present for yourself to use Sturges in your games. So let's start this off with, you are in a tavern. Your party has just got done with a small quest and is looking for... that wasn't really challenging. They're looking for a new challenge, and they're looking for something that will give them some money. Actual money. They just got done with a small quest, essentially like a delivery mission. Not satisfied with that and wanting blood, or just true adventure, they are sent out to a local cave nearby that seems to be attached to a jungle of sorts. So you enter this jungle cave, and what do we see first?
Well, first thing you see is the top row is littered with multiple arrays of what seems to be small stalactites that jut out of the ceiling. The adventurers continue pressing forward, not seeing anything auspicious. They then, suddenly after a few minutes of searching inwards, notice that those stalagmites or stalactites seem to be following them. Adventurer shines their lantern or their torch pitch towards the ceiling to find that those stalactites are not actually stalactites, but those seem to be roaming sturges. They swoop down, sticking into their necks, draining the blood from your adventurers. But of course, that's not all. These things have friends. These friends decide to coat these creatures with a flammable liquid, which, given a command, ignite. So once they're coated and attached to you, they now become a flaming spear ball of unending torture. And of course, the people who are in charge of these, or the ones who command these things, are not their friends, not their allies, but they use them as a resource to lure adventurers on a quest in order to actually take their loot and take whatever they have. So they probably actually have a couple of magic items on them, which would allow them to trigger that ignition that they got pickpocketing some adventure that they found long ago. These bandits are probably related to bat folk of some sort, something that could communicate with the Sturges.
Maybe a druid or two.
Exactly, a druid maybe. Either way, and essentially you would be engaged with the fight with these Sturges that are lit on fire, because the Sturges alone aren't exactly the most powerful thing, so therefore you would need something accompanying them that would probably just end up helping increase the height and intention of the actual problem itself, and kind of make them a little bit more threatening of a group of things. You can tack on damage, whatever you like. I would just go with a D4 or something like that. And with the D4 that they already do with the damage, a low-level Adventure Party could actually do some serious damage if they don't either A, take out the people igniting the Sturges, or B, take out the Sturges quickly enough so that they're just not taking consistent damage. So I think that'd be a very interesting and unique counter that you probably wouldn't see ever again.
Yeah. I was going to add another one, but you extended that one like crazy, so I don't think we need to. I think that's a good one. I'll save the pirate one for the next time.
Yeah, pirates are always a thing.
Yeah, well, there's a different one for... What did you point at?
The camera. The people. The audience.
Oh.
Audience! Yes. The audience over there.
Fortunately, not much of a Sturge and monsters in general. But out of all the beasts, this is the one we're giving a spotlight to this week. Next week, I don't remember exactly. We'll see which one we're doing real quick. Not necessarily which thing. Celestial. We'll be working on Celestial. And we'll, and granted, do they like beasts that much? No, but like, it's also, I think, because of Druid that they don't do this very much, or at least they add a lot, because adding a beast allows the Druid to just turn into these things.
So they shouldn't do it then.
Right? That's what I'm thinking.
They just didn't have Druid then. They should have the Wraith Druid.
Well, no, not really. Just in general, I think that's the sticky part of the beast category.
And it's also the Moon Druid is the only one it affects, because all the other Druids, not really.
But it still affects Druid, in a way. Okay, we'll move on from that one. Unfortunately, the Monster Spotlight was just the beasts.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's how that goes. Alright, we moved on to RPG horror stories next, last time, so yeah, let's kind of continue to flow until we figure something else out differently. We'll just do some RPG horror stories.
For shizzle my nizzle.
And we'll stick to murder hobo stuff.
Ah, nice. You don't see that every day.
We'll start the segment off with doomed D&D game explodes because of murder hobo antics.
Yay! We love it.
This was my very first D&D game, and I'm going to get right into it because the character doesn't matter much, as nobody was notable except the murder hobo. So it all begins with me joining the Discord. There was around 8 or so players, including me, that were split into 2 groups, and one DM. DM wanted the game to be as good as Crit Role, and probably didn't want to reject any of the applicants, and I think it was his first time as well. There was some shenanigans, like some players playing in 2 groups so that there's enough players to function as a party. The 2 groups were separated into 2 parallel worlds that were the same except apart, effectively ruining one game with twice the effort. Cue the murder hobo road. And when I say he's a murder hobo, I mean it's literally his character looked and acted like one. Overalls with big messy beard, wild hair with a balding top and knife in hand. It was chaotic evil and a pathological liar making up religions and rituals. And overall being absent and related to the party, or unrelated to the party, for most of the time, as well being the DM's favorite. Giving him one-on-one sessions where he plays alone and apparently getting a warship. I shit you not, I am not sure if he was joking and am glad we never progressed far enough to see. The first group was fine. Mine, the second group, opened with Hobo burning a church and the rest of the party meeting in a tavern and being completely separated from him. We didn't meet him until much later. The tavern kept wanting us to hire to find a gang. Okay. The tavern wanted to hire us to find a gang of delinquents and retrieved an item of his. Then he tries to have us sign a contract. One session later, we spend the first half arguing about the contract and until I convince them to sign it and move on. Now later we find the gang dead in a pile with someone on top of it wearing the gang's leader's face. One very short and one-sided encounter later, and it is revealed that it was a hobo, the hobo who cucked us. Our first encounter, and is arrested subsequently by the guards accompanying us. The next day, the guard captain visits us to talk about politics and how we could be hired. We go outside and it's the fucking hobo again, who somehow escaped from prison after a one-on-one session. Tensions escalate fast but I smooth things over, hoping the guy can actually play with the party for once, saying I will keep watch over him. Thus the group goes on a walk with the captain, with the hobo trailing behind, and me trailing behind further. The captain tries to hand one of us bounty money, but the hobo steals the pouch and runs away. Another encounter later, ending with me blasting an alley with my breath weapon and one-shotting him, getting pissed, saying we metagamed because somehow someone found him hiding on his turn and he didn't communicate it. And I used OOC knowledge to blast him. An argument ensues between two players and the DM ends up ghosting us. The fact that there were two groups should have told me it was doomed from the start, but I didn't know anything because it was my first time playing and I was very excited to play. TLDR, doomed, messy game that tried to include too many players ended up exploding after spoiled player pisses on the party by stealing shit.
Well, I mean, number one, right there, two groups are fine. I mean, I run 3 groups. Having multiple groups is not an issue unless you don't know what you're doing.
Yep. I think that's the key there.
Yeah. So, if you don't know what you're doing, I would never suggest running more than one group. Number one, that would be your, how do you call it? Your playtest, your work in progress. And also, if you're a new DM, just say, hey, I'm a new DM. That helps because players understand that and they relate to that because sometimes, hey, they might be new players as well. So not everyone's going to know what to do. And shenanigans happen when you don't know what you're doing. And weirdly enough, the DM giving like one-on-ones with the murder hobo, he was just probably trying to keep a player in his good graces without understanding that he was doing more harm than good, which can happen. It happens probably more often than you would think. Also, I'm very confused on how many sessions this took for all of this to happen. Because I believe he said at the beginning it was only one session. But also it sounds like it was many sessions at the same time. So that's kind of confusing. I don't know about that part as far as that go.
Also, he's a first-time player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect, most of the time when it's your first time playing, it's not necessarily going to be a bad experience, but it's not going to be the best experience you have playing D&D. Let's be honest. Also, this guy was arguing. Don't get me wrong, if you're upset, I guess you can argue and get your point across if you need to, but it seems like he was not really helping the situation either.
Also, but if someone's being combative and you're just trying to get your point across and they're just not listening,
Yeah,
an argument happens because, just you don't always need to engage.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. Yeah, there's not much more to this. It seems like you just had a bad experience on your first time.
Yeah, there was no way that would have turned out well with the guy literally having these one-on-ones and killing just a bunch of random people and stealing someone's face and then swearing it out of random. That's truly
bizarre behavior.
Yes, yeah.
It's like a cry for help. That's what I look at that every time. I'm just like, okay, you just want to do some weird shit. That's fine, but don't expect people to just go along with it either. People like that are going to be everywhere at this point, so it's just like, not necessarily, this is not me blaming anybody for allowing these guys in their games, but just like, if you see the signs ahead of time, just try to not have them be involved in your fucking games.
Sometimes vetting people is pretty hard because they act one way and then they play another way. It's just a part of online community.
Yeah.
And anonymity.
This next story is not safe for work, apparently.
Yes.
Well, it's gonna be not safe for work no matter what when you're watching these RPG horror stories because they can cover some insane topics.
Oh yeah.
So, regardless, we're gonna go ahead and read this one. It's called "Sexist That Guy Thinks He Can Treat Me Like He Treats NPCs." I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but we'll find out. Trigger warning later for
Yep. Trigger warning. Already.
This is a trigger warning episode, I guess. So this will be there at the beginning. So it's been a while since this happened, and I'm finally, you know what? This feels. It's gonna be hard to read with this. Actually, no. This feels like this is the style I'm going for here.
There you go. You gotta do what you want.
It's been a while since this happened, and I'm finally ready to share. For a bit of background, I, a 17-year-old female, have been playing D&D for about 2 years, primarily online because of the pandemic. This story takes place earlier this year, when I was 16. I had been playing with another group, but I didn't find it exciting anymore, and it no longer fit within my schedule. That's when my boyfriend, 18 male at the time, invited me to join a campaign in his group that he was DMing on the weekends. It had an interesting premise and fit my schedule, so I agreed. He ran a one-shot for me to meet the guys in the Discord server. There was only one other active girl in the server at the time. I met all the guys except one, the subject of this story, and I liked them well enough. They were your typical weeb guys in their late teens, so they were annoying but funny and still tolerable. My boyfriend had warned me about that guy that I didn't meet. From what he said, he was your stereotypical angsty that guy, so I was a bit on edge, but I still tried to have fun. Every time we do RPG horror stories, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a sign.
Be warned. My first session went well, and I ended up gelling with the guys pretty well.
Ooh, Jenny.
We have the barbarian, the blood hunter, the vampire who owned the server, and the rogue. Of course, he's that guy.
What if it wasn't obvious? What if he was a vampire?
I mean, I think any of it's gonna be that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just, of course, it's a rogue. Okay, I was right there. Damn. Yeah, I played a fighter.
There you
I was
go.
honestly pretty proud of. The only thing that I didn't like was that rogue had this thing in the second session where he tried to start a PvP with me in it. It was pretty common for this guy to do this, but I personally was not the one. We had a minor conflict in the character, and I found it annoying, but I didn't think anything else of him at that time. That was until the party took a rest stop in an oasis.
Ooh.
Trigger warning for sexual assault active from this point.
Oh.
NSFW.
No.
There's going to be some things I cannot read, I bet. The party came to a rest stop, and we all went to the hot springs with 2 female NPCs. In the server, I see Rogue roll a D3 unprompted with the die spot. After this, he and the DM had some comments, and the DM described how I felt something under the water. I was in shock and refused to believe that I thought what was happening was true. I asked for clarification as to what I felt, and he told me I was being flajangled. Fajangled. Huh? Putting 2 and 2 together, I asked Rogue, "Are you using Mage Hand?" He confirmed. I went quiet and was then asked to roll a Constitution check. Okay, this is getting way weirder.
So this character's 16.
Well,
Or player's 16.
she's 16, yeah.
Yes.
We have no idea about the actual character's age, but it doesn't matter.
Yes, the player's 16. Yeah.
I asked Rogue, "Are you using Mage Hand?" He confirmed. I went quiet and was then asked to roll a Constitution check to hold back my moans. That's fucked up, bro. You gotta be kidding me.
Why is the DM going on with this?
I don't know. I'm more angry at him. I explained that there was nothing to hold back because I wasn't moaning and I didn't want this. I told them that my character leaves the pool and I leave the call shortly afterwards because fuck you. She didn't say that, but I added that fuck you part. Apparently, it was common behavior for Rogue to do this with various NPCs in other previous campaigns, which is bad enough, but for some reason he decided to include a real PC in this.
Yeah.
He also rolled that D3 to decide which of the 3 female characters in the pool to grope.
Sure.
If you didn't catch that, even worse, he was one of the oldest members of the group, being 19 or 20, while I was 16. Although I didn't know if he was my age, to be fair.
She also is going out with an 18-year-old at the time. She just...
I don't think
it like how, like, yeah, exactly.
Like, you're already doing some real sketchy shit.
Exactly.
I was in such utter shock that I shut down for the rest of the night, and I couldn't talk to anyone for hours.
Yeah, but a 20-year-old on his 16,
that's fucked up.
That's a little... That's,
I mean, it's all weird fucking territory.
Exactly.
You're within that age, it's all
exactly.
weird. It was honestly a triggering event, as I had previous struggles with sexual assault, of course. I cried myself to sleep that night and probably would have left the server if they didn't handle the situation how they did. Vampire server owner and his girlfriend, the other active girl in there, and the server checked up on me, as well as my boyfriend, who felt really guilty for letting it happen. Rogue never really apologized to me, but according to my boyfriend, he did really feel bad. No one else reached out to me from the server. In the end, Rogue got banned from the server for 3 months, not long enough in my opinion, but I appreciated it. And my character got to sentence his character to death in the next session. I stayed with the group and I still played with him. He's back now, and I still make comments about it occasionally, but we all still play together. You're still playing with this fucker?
That's
weird, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you do what you do, but I would never want to be around this guy ever again.
Yeah,
that's
I would
just
perma-ban him. If you're going to ban him for 3 months, you might as well perma-ban.
Yeah, right? You can find someone else, man. I don't know. He's back now and still makes comments about it occasionally, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully he learned his lesson. It took me long enough to get comfortable with him again, but now we're in a few campaigns together, including one of my own. I don't really know how to conclude this. It feels weird still because it was technically real, but it still affected me a lot. It wasn't real, but it still affected me a lot. Let me clarify. I guess I also wanted to see if I'm not alone, if anyone else has had similar experiences. Some side notes, me and my boyfriend are still together. He was there to comfort me afterwards, and he deeply regrets what he did. I still don't know if Rogue did in fact learn his lesson. We don't really talk much. He didn't. I'll give you a clue. If he hasn't apologized himself, and some other random person is apologizing for him, that guy is not feeling guilty. He just feels bad that he got fucking consequences for it.
Also, this is backward.
I don't care.
I mean, doesn't it matter? Doesn't it pick up from the front more?
He doesn't. I mean, like, it's barely we'll do this. We'll just move it over. I don't fuck. I'll just do this.
You can keep it backwards. I don't.
Is that backwards? I don't know if it's backwards or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the front. It's where the knobs is.
Yes. Some side notes, blah, blah, blah. The other guy did condemn what he did. Our voices are still going to overpower whatever the hell is going on over there.
I was just saying, no, dude.
I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you, dog. The other guy did condemn what he did and frequently make fun of him for it. All right, this sounds like a weird group, bro.
Yeah.
I'm mostly healed from the situation now, and it doesn't hurt as much anymore. Okay, not only is that guy weird, the fact that you guys are still in the same server with him is a little weird to me.
Yes.
I mean, I guess I get it if there's no one else to play D&D with, or there's no other group to play D&D with at the moment, but it is weird.
There's a bunch of people
that you guys are in the same server with him still. And he's in 4 of your campaigns. Okay, I mean, I guess if he's not doing the weird stuff, that's on you, whatever you choose to do. Mm-hmm. If you want my opinion personally, I would never want to deal with that guy again.
Yeah, there'll be no reason to.
But that's just me. I'm glad that he's not doing any weird stuff and this hasn't really come up again. But it sounds like other people are still messing with him for it, which means it's consistently being brought up, and he's consistently bringing it up, which is going to continue to remind you of the event that's happening at the moment. So if you don't want to be reminded of what happened, you probably want to just either excommunicate yourself from the group, or not include yourself with some of these individuals.
It's called reoccurring trauma.
You do what you want to do,
Trauma.
but that's a little messy if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
We'll do one more before we move on to something else. Okay, this one's called I take the blame for a DM's ruling.
Okay.
God, I don't know if I want to do this one. I don't know where this is going.
We never know where any of these are going. It is. Plus, they're called horror stories. They're not called fantasy realm.
Okay,
dreams.
it's a few paragraphs. We'll see what this is. At one point playing D&D, I had to decide to try out DMing. I was already in Westmarch, so I decided to run a few missions there. The party here, a star, the problematic DM, me, our star, his name's Star, whatever, he's going by Star. Me and Poppy, the poor player caught up in the problem. One of the homebrew rulings of Star had made up is that the scale mail can be made of scales rather than metal, so that druids could wear it. Multiple druid players had worn it in this fashion. When Poppy was making her druid, I informed her of this homebrew rule. A couple weeks later, Star had decided to run a boss fight. At one point, she decided to cast heat metal on Poppy, as she was wearing scale mail. Poppy said I had informed her that scale mail did not have to have metal in it. However, Star claimed that she never made that rule and cast heat metal anyways. She then asked Poppy who informed her, and Poppy said my name. Rather than retconning the heat metal or anything, Star blamed me and said my ruling was wrong, despite having made the rule in the first place, because it was convenient to her. The heat metal caused Poppy's character to go down and almost die due to failed saving throws. They defeated the boss, but the damage was already done. Poppy completely changed her attitude afterwards towards me as a DM, as my ruling almost killed her. I stepped down as a DM soon afterwards, as I did not appreciate taking the blame for Star's ruling. Star didn't explain the situation to Poppy for almost a month. It was the realization that she lost my friendship that made her talk to Poppy and apologize to me. At Star's apology, I told her I can forgive her, but our friendship is done. This seems really weird. What a weird story.
I mean, all I'm getting from that is I never played a Westmarch. I just know the mechanics of it. There's sometimes around 100 literal people in a server.
Yeah.
And everyone just potato DMs.
It's just going to cause drama one way or the other.
Yes, because if someone has one ruling, clearly like this, and someone else has another ruling, and then someone wants to manipulate their own rules for their own convenience, then yeah, you're gonna get what we call a spicy meatball. But also, you can't blame the other DM for then turning their back on their own rule when you are the one DMing. Because at the end of the day, it is you in the seat. Just because Caleb says, well, I'm not wearing metal, and I'm like, well, you did say that you specifically made it with metal, and we guaranteed this, it was ruled, and it was a thing that was established, then no, I'm not going back on that. You were wearing metal. Or, but in this case, wearing actual scales to compensate for the druid thing. Number one, druids don't have to use void. That is explicitly what do you call it?
What do you think of?
A preferred thing. They can wear metal.
This is just one of those things where it's just like, it sounds like all three of these people are involved kind of like in a rotation of their own drama that unfortunately ended up with one guy feeling just like, I don't know what's going on, and I think I don't want to be a part of it, so I'm going to lose my friendship with you.
Yeah. Kind of ridiculous.
It's petty, but
But
it's
it
just
also
how people are.
that definitely did show the character of that person, though,
It did.
that decided to fuck a ruling because it was inconvenient. That's really messed up. That shouldn't have happened. Especially since it's, assuming in West Marches, it's a ruling across the table.
Well, yeah, it seems like a server rule more than
Exactly.
it's just an actual individual rule.
Yeah.
So of course now it caused a little drama here and there, but you know, I think that's just how the cookie crumbles there. Hopefully you guys are doing better, and you don't have to deal with that drama here on the West Mart servers. But you know, I've never been a part of one. I know what it's about.
Yeah.
I know how it goes. I know that it can be really fun, or it can be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So hopefully your games go better, bro.
Yeah, West Marches is just not my style in particular. I don't think I'll ever join one.
I don't know.
But
Who knows?
exactly. I said think, so therefore
Who knows
I
what will happen in the
could,
future.
but I doubt it.
Okay. For this episode, we're done with DM horror stories. We'll move on, or RPG horror stories, yeah. We'll move on to something different real quick. We have a couple of things we can do. We still have character creation to go over. We need to see if there's anything new as far as D&D goes.
There's always something new.
So we'll look to see if there's any new stuff that's happened in D&D. If not, we can just talk about some of the stuff that we've done in D&D this week and be done. Seems as though there's not really like anything too crazy. We did the crazy thing last episode when we went over one D&D stuff. Really, all they've been going over recently with Wizards of the Coast stuff is Dragonlance stuff. Spelljammer recently came out, so of course they have a whole bunch of material on Spelljammer and the return of that. Not much else though in news. I mean, like it's just them coming out with stuff, talking about what they came out with, and I don't think there's really anything else to go over as far as like actual news at the moment.
Yeah, that happens.
I expected as much, but you never know. So, as far as D&D for you this week has gone, how's that going for you?
Well, I mean, yesterday we finally ended around a 2-year-long campaign. A 2-player campaign that started off as a 4-player campaign, whittled down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy left, and then Caleb joined, and then it was just them two, and then our friend Drake from Fridays joined as well.
Mm-hmm. It was really fun.
Then we finished it. We were done so with that.
Yeah,
We're moving on to the next adventure.
That was our big thing this week that happened. We've actually ended that campaign on our Wednesday campaign, and we're looking to start another one up in a little bit, which is going to be a bit of a journey for us.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to start my online D&D campaign career, I guess. I'm going to try it out. I mostly do the in-game stuff, so it's going to be interesting trying online for once. He's going to give me the ropes. He's going to show me how
I'm
to
gonna show the literal ropes off.
He's going to no, don't say that.
That's not even.
That's not what we're doing.
Not
That's not what we do around here, bro.
That's what we do. Yeah.
No, we do not.
Yeah, no, we do
We
that.
show ropes. We don't show ropes. We do not show ropes.
We do.
What we do is we get shit done.
And show ropes.
No, I don't see those.
I do.
I have my blinders on. That's why I have my glasses on.
Oh well, you gotta take them off. Take
If I
it
do, I
off.
might see
Take it
ropes.
off.
I'm good.
Take it off.
Either way, I'm going to be starting. I'm going to be starting a campaign.
Woo!
I normally do Fridays. We're going to be looking to rebrand. Yeah, that's a big thing. We've actually had a couple of big things happen this week. AC2 High has been a campaign that we've been, or at least the group name that we've had for like a few years. But we've recently had a couple of sponsorships, a couple of really big things happening for us on Fridays. We had a thing where the Octopath Traveler app game that Square Enix owns we ended up having a partnership with them for like 3 weeks. So we did a little series for them on Friday. What my world is it's roughly based off of or Stera, which is the Square Enix's world. It's basically a Dungeons and Dragons version of that, where you just add the D&D races, and I have my own specific lore. So it's different in a lot of ways. In some ways, it's similar. So might look to change our names to something like that, as far as like our D&D group goes. We've had AC Too High for a while, but it seems as though things have come up that makes us feel like we should probably look to maybe revamp, have a name that kind of rolls off the tongue and fits some of the stuff that we're doing on Friday, since Friday seems to be taking a priority at this moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's leaking personal drama. That ain't personal, right? That's just talking in general.
What?
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Yeah. We have to figure out a name. I think that's one of our goals of something we can do today. Maybe in one of our podcasts, you guys can give us, or in the next episode, you guys can help us figure out some names that we can do. Or I'm thinking something revolving around Dragon, because I want this to be continuity to Dragon Coffee as well, right? So since we're doing Dragon Coffee, and we want this to kind of be attached to our live play sessions as well, I think maybe, instead of leaving the coffee part out of it, something Dragon, right? So we can maybe like Dragon Travelers from like Octopath, or Dragon something Dragon, and then something from, Octopath, or from our campaigns that would actually make sense, right? That could be continuity. I don't know. It's something that I've been thinking about.
I really don't know.
We haven't even really had a full-on conversation about this. This is just me talking out loud. Other than that, it's not been. It's been a pretty hectic, fun, and not so week for us. Last week was kind of crazy too, but last Friday you guys fought a cape from the game.
No, we didn't fight a cape. We fought a god.
I did my best. Okay, I did my best to emulate.
God mode.
No, not God mode.
That was
The
God
randomness
mode.
that a Kate is, because they can randomly do crazy ass shit in game.
That was God
But
mode.
also, they don't have that much HP. They only take 1 damage each time.
That was God
So no
mode.
matter what you guys did, you did 1 damage unless you did a crit.
That was God mode.
And then it can generate if it wants to at times, and it has a chance to fling.
Yeah, just because it wants to. Yeah.
But if you kill it, you get a whole bunch of XP. So they got an extra level out of it. Because the app introduced a thing called the Tower of Remembrance, which is essentially experience, which I wanted to try to emulate in the game, and they decided, hey, we're going to take a part of this. They could have just said no, but they decided to be a part of it.
Also, Meteor Swarm.
They could do it again next week, because it's still an option if they really want to potentially level up. It's always an option now.
No.
I know. No. Hey, man, you rolled a 5. You rolled a terrible percentile.
No.
Other than that, on Friday, there wasn't really like anything crazy. I mean, that's as simple as
Meteor
that.
Swarm.
Besides the fact that, like, the Kate did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's essentially our D&D news segment. It's just us talking about our experience this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened.
And then I think lastly for this episode, we'll do a little character creation thing real quick. Well, we'll create a character based off of one of our worlds, or I guess we can still do the Orstera aspect too if we want. I don't know. It's been a consistent thing.
We could work on our kobold.
Oh, sure. If you want to do that, let's do it.
Let's do it. So, you wanted to join our detective agency.
I mean, why don't you give an idea
Cobalt
or
Press.
let them know. First of all, this is officially the start of our character creation segment here on this port of this episode of the podcast of Dragon Coffee. We're actually going to be working on Prince's character that he wants to play, or his new character that he's thinking about playing for our new Wednesday campaign. And we'll just kind of go through the process of what we do or how we want to do that. We'll start off by like talking about what your idea of what your group wants to do, or maybe the campaign style that you're looking for, and then we can kind of go from there.
So, we were thinking of forming a detective agency, much like Mystery Inc., but of course D&D style. So we have wacky powers and crazy machinations and big dreams. We opened up a place after being in Atlasdam in our college years. Us crazy kids want to go out and go into the world and use those crazy powers that we came across. Of course, me being a rugged, handsome, fresh, new, off the press kobold, roughly 7 to 5 days old. Kidding, of course. Probably around, kobold teenage years?
No, 2?
Maybe 3 years old.
What is kobold actually?
I actually really don't know. I wanna actually be accurate.
Yeah, I was just joking. Not 2 years old.
I mean, they actually
They died so quickly, though.
The thing is that, like, freaking, what was it? Jeremy Crawford played a kobold that was 7 days old, and he was talking like a regular guy.
And then he died. We all remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. We all remember
that.
I was very fond of it.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Very fond of that moment. Yeah, 6 years old. They age very quickly. They mature very quickly, at least.
They reach
6
adulthood.
years old.
So you're like 5.
Yeah, I'm still a teenager. I'm around.
They can live up to 120 years, but they rarely
do so.
Because
they could die
everyone
7
hates
days
them.
later.
Everyone hates them.
Or they just run out and die. Or they just run out and die.
Well, this is your character. Keep talking.
Yeah. So my ruggedly handsome kobold is he's a nice guy. He really likes living life to the fullest. But I'm going to use my powers for the good of mankind, And I'm tired of just harboring all this immense, glorious power all by myself. And so I want to give back to the world, explore, and show them what it really means to be a kobold. What it means to be a kobold is to solve mysteries. Because that is what we do. Yes, no, all kobolds
That seems
solve
like that's
mysteries.
what you do, but that's
No.
okay.
That is what I do. We all do that. And and I have friends. I don't know who they are yet because they haven't made them.
Your college roommates.
Yeah, my college roommates, my buddies, mi amigos. We all decided to join the detective agency, and whatever happens after that, who knows, man? We might die the first day we go outside. I don't know, man. I don't know.
So, the premise of most of these characters is they start off in Atlasdam, which has the college of the Climstorm Academy, which is very similar to the academy that D&D came out with, which has magic schools and essentially magic college.
But also, Atlasdam already had a college to begin with before.
She just basically took it over.
Yeah.
And made it better.
But don't say make it better. That's besmirching Octopath Trap. It is better.
It's way better.
It's way better. It's super magic and it's aberration power.
Yeah, she essentially...
Not aberration,
She made her way there and made it better.
What's it called?
What's it? What are you thinking about?
The style of the School of Magic she teaches primarily?
Abjuration.
Yeah, abjuration. I was thinking abomination.
No. Abomination magic!
That sounds dope, though.
That sounds awesome, dude. Too bad it fucking sucks.
School of Abominations.
The premise is they went through, they're roommates in Climstorm Academy, learned whatever they learned, based off a class, right? And they decided to create a detective agency somewhere where it would be needed. And they would be going to Boulder Fall, which is a place in the Clifflands, which has a lot of criminal activity and probably could use a decent detective agency.
Yay. Because they probably have high crime rates and things that never ever get solved.
Exactly. That's the whole point, though, right?
Yeah. We get to solve them now.
We're going to dump them up real quick. But that's the premise, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so we're going to go solve the issues that the poor people are dealing with.
and make the poor people not poor anymore. And wait, no, they're taking their money though, so they'll probably just get even more broke. Yeah, I understand that part.
Let's start from the get-go.
I'm doing a warlock. Genie.
How did you become a warlock?
Well, so when I was a baby, fresh out the mother's womb, a year later, I was digging around in the crevice of a mine shaft.
Earth, then.
No, I'm going F8.
Oh, yeah, firewood makes it, too.
Yeah, because let me tell the story. It's my story to tell.
Sorry.
It's my story to tell.
Continue.
So, when I was digging up the thingy, something got into my eye. It went ching ching. I picked it off and it lodged itself straight into my eye and burrowed into me. I felt a lot of pain, but I didn't think anything about it because I'm a kobold and I feel pain every single day of my life. But I did start crying and crying and crying until my mother came. She said, Squitchy, what's wrong with you? And I said, Mama, look, my eye, there's something in it. And she says, you'll be all right, just walk it off. And so I kept going out throughout my day. 2 years later, I feel my chest burning inside, burning. And suddenly I feel through my veins the hot coal that has been growing and festering inside of me has infiltrated my endocrine system and has replaced all of my blood with hot, loud, liquid magma. And I'm very disgusted by all of this. And so, I kinda hate my life.
Okay.
One day I started breathing fire on my tribe.
And they kicked you out and said, go to college.
They didn't kick me out. I killed most of them and then left.
Then they kicked you out.
And then they kicked me out.
You ran out instead of them giving you the official. You're kicked
Exactly.
out.
I beat them to the punch. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the fuck out of Dodge, And ever since then, I've been trying to understand why I'm so fucked. So I went to Clemstorm Academy. They said to me, "Oh, Shishi, you can come in inside."
I don't know his name. That's a placeholder name. It's funny, but I don't
Continue.
know. That's
Shishi, come inside, please. We'll teach you everything there is to know about being a warlock. I told them I was a sorcerer, though, so they don't fucking know I'm a warlock, because I don't know I'm a warlock. I think I'm a sorcerer. I feel like I am. This is natural. It's my blood, literally, so I must be a sorcerer. Anyways, every now and then there's this guy inside of my head. He's like, yes. But it could just be the fact that there's magma liquid coursing through my veins and it's singeing my skull on the inside of my drums. Or it's a guy. I really don't know. I never really thought about it. But of course, you know me. I also got this thing inside of my arm, and it opened up, and when it opened up, I go inside of it, and it's just like a scroll tube on the floor, and I go inside and I have a vacation every now and then. I go to bed, and that's all I know about myself.
At least I'm not. No, that's a work in progress. I don't think he's gonna have a scroll thing inside of his hand. That sounds funny, but it sounds very detrimental to his livelihood.
I was about to say, what the fuck?
I mean, I want to know, like, because we have a container.
Kobold.
We have like a container thing that where we keep the
Yeah, you're good.
our body, basically, where our djinn gives us our bullshit. So something along the lines of that. Basically, he stumbled across something you shouldn't have type thing, and it was most likely a shard or remnant of this Ifrit
that was just kind of inside of this a tunnel, cobalt tunnel, regular daily activity of a cobalt tunnel. He struck the vein of the most likely a jewel, gem, crystal, or something like that. Smashed into his eyes, and 2 years later, it's been coursing through his vein, just slowly replacing his bloodstream. So small bits of fire reside in him, essentially. Not, of course, to kill him and murder him, or else I wouldn't be telling the story.
Deception?
Oh, yeah. Investigation, because I'm the liar of the group, for sure.
Shocker.
What? Don't say
Like a
that.
kobold. Which evocation are you going?
Thinking beguiling influence.
Beguiling influence. We'll have to choose a different
Okay,
one
yeah.
for you.
Would you say Arcana or History would be better in the scenario? Are we going to go more the magical mysteries or the real world mysteries? We're grounded.
Kind of a mix of both.
Kind of mix of both? Okay, I'll go Arcana since I have more of a tie to the weave. I don't know what anyone else is going. I'll probably end up switching that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Beguiling influence gives him the proficiency in deception and persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one you're thinking of doing?
Definitely not the aggressor. I always want to try to resolve things. Let's go Thieves of Fates. Thief of 5 Fates. Let's see what that gives me. Bane. I think I like that. Yeah, Bane would be good. I can lower their chances of them sneaking up on my bullshit and understanding what's happening, and I can use my persuasion to my advantage to gather information and clues.
And most important thing.
Talisman, of course.
Oh. Back to the talisman. There you go.
Because I get to flip my coin, or whatever the case is. I'll think of what my talisman is before the actual case, but I get to add a D4 to all my investigation checks, which I'll be doing mostly. I'll be mostly investigating. I can use it towards my Arcana checks. My friends can use them as well, so if they need it more than I do at the moment, I can pass that off.
Yep.
And that will essentially help them on whatever they need. And so honestly, it's a fairly good for this style of campaign that we're going for.
Yeah. Spells? We got the right.
Of course, Eldritch Blast. Friends. Always gotta have friends. So everyone's gonna be angry at me.
Yep.
Burning Hands. Because I feel like I'm definitely going to be...
Up close.
Yeah.
Dealing with people in their face.
Mm-hmm. Whether I like it or not. I got access to level 2 spells already?
Yeah.
Do I?
Yeah, you're level 3.
I don't... Dang, it's been a while since I played a fucking Warlock.
Yeah, you're level 3. You're 3, I think you get access to 2.
Okay. I don't know what else, really. Distort value, probably.
Squeeze a few more gold out of a merchant. Okay. I mean, you don't really need anything else.
For my second level stuff, I'll get Rave Enfeeblement. We'll have that versatility for what do you call it? Utility as well.
Already got Bane.
Yeah, I already got Bane. So those are be scenario based plays right there. Dang, I don't really know what kind of freaking shenanigans would I Misty Step, because we are in a rocky cavernous place. If someone decides to push me off, I can literally see that. I can see that happening. Like some asshole just push me off a fucking cliff.
Yep. That'll be that.
Yeah. My background, I guess.
Yeah, we have to do your abilities, right?
Oh, that too. Yeah.
I think that's important. I'm gonna roll. Is that what you're gonna do?
Let's try. Let's see if that actually does something good for me.
Go get your dice.
Oh, we press the dice.
We're not doing standard. We're not actually rolling a rando character. We're actually rolling a character you plan on playing.
I'm using Chris's dice.
Okay.
Chris's dice is better for
I'll
me.
wear my lucky glasses for you.
Oh my god, thank you. I'll be doing 3d6, drop the, 46
Yeah,
drop the lowest?
our normal thing.
46 or 2d6 plus 6? 4?
Yeah, 46.
Okay. Drop the lowest?
Yeah, I believe that was what we've always done.
Okay.
This is our homebrew rule. It's not an actual thing.
No, the homebrew is 2d6 plus 6. If we're going that.
Oh yeah, I mean, do that then.
Okay, I mean, I don't
remember because we've had like 3 or 4.
Yeah. So, we use the metal dice.
We've used like I don't know how many different methods.
Yes, we have literally used a multitude
So
of methods.
I'm just assuming that you're using the one we always have.
Oh yeah.
5 and a 5.
17.
That's what I'm talking about.
Already I'm a character, more so than normal. I'm already digging this guy. I'm already not digging this guy. So I got 11.
Okay.
Eight. Wait, no. 10, sorry.
Okay.
Here we go. This is it. 12. This is where it goes down. This is going down for real.
Rub, rub, rub.
Okay, at least that's decent. 15. Okay.
14.
Not bad at all.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Okay. Let's see.
I'm just assuming you want your lower stat and strength. I'm assuming. I could be completely wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The rest you can fit whatever you want.
Wisdom, I'll switch for dexterity.
Done.
He looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that's a good one.
He looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so overall, he has a 10 strength. Granted, we have to do the fucking...
Like the race thing, because we have
Yeah.
the new kobold traits as well.
Also, Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
We do Tasha's rule here, so... It'll be...
Make that a rounded 18 for...
Charisma, 19.
And then put the other one in intelligence.
It was just showing me 1, though. I don't know why, but it is. Yeah, It just shows me 1.
That's weird.
Well, if you remember, Kobold does not get love. +2.
I don't get that.
Don't
Wait.
look at me.
Is that all they get in the new one? Is that question mark?
+2 to dexterity. Oh. What?
Oh,
That's,
what?
That's what it says.
I think this is a glitch. I don't think that makes
Choose
sense.
an ability score to increase by 2 instead of previously dexterity 1. Origin. Boom, ability score. Your dex increases by 2.
That's it?
Yep.
Huh?
Hey man, I'll give you a +1 to something. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's so weird.
What else do you?
F?
What do you want to bump up by 1?
Intelligence.
Okay. I don't care.
That's so weird.
Yep. Still don't get
yeah.
love.
Apparently. Feels bad for my boy. Feel bad for my boy.
What's your
Feel
background?
bad for my boy. So, actually think something interesting, like a clueless farmer. Could be a Dee Dee's child detective. There we go. It's right there. It's right there.
Insight and what else?
It's intimidation.
What else?
These tools.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What other language you know?
Primordial.
Primordial it is.
Wait, hopefully, actually, let's check if my thing is going to give me that later on, my class. Because I don't, it would kind of make sense if I would.
You can take on characteristics, patron, blah, 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 long rest. Limited wish.
Okay, no, I don't.
No.
Alright. So yeah, I would like to speak to, you know, the sound of my people. I would think that would make sense.
Like crossbow,
Oh, of course.
I can focus, component.
A component pouch, I would use a component pouch.
A dagger,
Yes!
3 daggers. Awesome.
Oh, yay! Can
A
stab people
smoking
anytime.
pipe,
I like that, yes. I would love to smoke. Yes,
a flask or a tankard. And you're gonna take the pipe.
of course.
Thieves'
These
tools.
tools, yay!
All right, you're all set.
I have 3 daggers on my hip. Dagger, dagger, dagger. Dagger, dagger, dagger.
Unlike what we did last time, this is a character he's actually planning on playing, so
Dagger, dagger, dagger.
there's not really much else for us to do besides just, you know, he already went over his backstory and stuff. Is there anything you want to talk about as far as the character goes?
I mean, that's all I know for right now. I mean, till I figure out what everyone else is doing. Mainly M. We're, you know, because we're not 1,000% sure. Because I think
Yeah.
Jake said it like
Yeah.
every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
When he'll be able to make it. So, yeah.
All right, there's nothing else.
Unless we just want to do like one-on-ones at some point or something like that.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't know
Yeah.
what we're gonna do.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, we'll end it right here for the moment. Dragon Coffee, second episode, in the books, done. You guys are coming. Coffee, it's in our system. I hope you guys had some fun too. Enjoying talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Have a good one, guys.